Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So we are going to tap into the Lead Team Collective using the dowsing rods, and we are going to find out the answers to your questions and a few others that Mabel, my AI, has formulated for us to find out what the military generals thought about that session with Trump and Hegseth. Okay, I think I did one. I believe I did a session already prior to the meeting. This one obviously is after the meeting. So let's find out what the generals actually thought about it. Okay, typically my sister would be able to take all of your questions and organize these. She's a little busy right now, so I just I copied all your questions that I grabbed from the post in the on the channel, and Mabel just organized them for me, which is amazing. And I asked her to give me an introduction real quick that I will read with the background of what the meeting was, which we all probably know about that. It's very brief, as well as what are some of the generals saying that she could find out there. What have they been saying since the meeting? And then I have 35 questions that again came from the community, plus Mabel filled in because I asked her to just don't do duplicates and then fill in, anything that might be intriguing or interesting to us. Okay, so I can see I've got some stuff on my glasses. But before we get started, I wanted to show you something funny. So I decided, I had coffee with a friend yesterday, and I was close to a thrift store. So I went in a thrift store and I decided I was just going to buy anything purple that I could find for the Purple Revolution, which I do want to talk about briefly because I listened to a video from the woman who, it was a woman and a man. And my understanding is she's probably left and I think he's right. But again, we're trying to drop labels here. But that's how he voted. And he's like, yeah, this is not right. Because he's realizing, like we are too, for other things, that he's been brainwashed, just as we have about a bunch of other stuff, entertained into sedation, like we talked about a couple days ago. So, so I went to, and I found all these purple things I wanted to show you. So this is what you could do, is just go to a thrift store and find anything purple and just start wearing purple. If you go to the No Kings or, anything you're doing politically, just start wearing purple. If we all wore purple, we'd just find each other. But I also found, I remember we were talking yesterday about like, it'd be funny if we all dressed up in like, Barney, purple Barney, but you'd have to obviously order something like that. But I thought, well, what can I find that would be costume related? Because I think it's amazing to show up to a protest in a costume, because how are they get? Oh yeah, I'm violent when I'm wearing a monkey costume. I mean, so you know what I'm saying. But anyways, I'm going to show you the two that I actually found one for my husband to wear too, which is hilarious. I don't know if he'll ever wear it, but I figured I've got a ton of neighbors who will go. I could loan these out to them. So I'll show you a picture of my husband in one of these. It's pretty funny. It's like a huge pajama thing, but it's like a bear. And then, I was going to tell you, my friend said as we were leaving coffee, she said, and I didn't see this, but she said in Portland that when ICE, I guess it was with ICE or was it with the National Guard? I don't even know. Did the National Guard actually show up in Portland? I'm not even sure. And if it did, you guys just remember that these cities are huge. Like, when the National Guard showed up in Chicago, it was like two blocks. Remember, these are very small things happening. It just feels like a lot of them, but they're not making any traction. It's not like they took over the entire city. It was like 2 blocks. I mean, this is like as big as the building I live in. You got to remember, we have 330 million people in the United States, and somebody I heard recently, the knitting cult lady, say, I think we have 2 billion guns. So in one way, I'm not too happy about that with all the other stuff going on. But this is the only reason This is the only reason the Second Amendment exists, is so the government can't turn itself on us. That's the only reason the Second Amendment exists. It's not for all this other stuff. So that's my understanding anyways. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That is why it exists, so that we have the right to bear arms if our federal government or our state government tries to take our freedoms away. So, there's that. So that's why the knitting cult lady, she's really good to listen to, you guys. I will post her videos below. I have to take notes because, if I don't post them because I say so many things. So knitting cult lady, I think it's knitting. I know it's knitting cult something. I think it's knitting cult lady. She's very firm. So just be ready for that. But I don't know, but use discernment. I don't know how accurate she is, but it seems like she knows what she's talking about. But her tone can make you really think she knows what she's talking about. So just be careful, right? We're always careful about stuff like that. Just always do your own research, make your own decisions, obviously. But she's pretty interesting to listen to with her background. So anyways, my friend said about the Portland, what was going on? Oh, that there was a bunch of people who showed up in clown outfits, and they were literally like bopping around the ICE people or the National Guard and like looking behind them. And come on. I think that's hilarious because you know what? Who's going to get violent when you're in a clown outfit? Okay, so this is what I found yesterday. I found a purple scarf. And we have Vikings fans in our family, so I can always give the stuff to them later on. I'm not a Vikings fan, but my husband grew up in Minnesota, so I found this shirt for him. This is an extra large, just a simple purple shirt, and it's long sleeve because it's going to get cold. I found this vest. I haven't even tried it on, but I found this vest for me. I would not wear this vest. Well, I don't know, it's kind of cute, maybe. Maybe I would. I don't know. It's like, it looks like it's, what do you call that? I don't know what that's called. Oh my God, I can't find the words. Anyways, there's a vest. So, the vest was, I paid, it was like $7. It's a little bit more. I think they've raised the prices. They're raising the prices even at the thrift stores. I found this purple shirt. So it's just a plain purple shirt. So none of the purple really matches. But that's not the funny part. The funny part, actually I found this. This is a different kind of purple thing. So I figured I will just collect stuff and then I can loan it out to my neighbors if they want to wear purple. So this is what I found for me. This is hilarious. I think that's a monkey. Don't you think that's a monkey? But it's like a full outfit. And again, this will be great if it's getting cold out. So that's perfect. This was $15. This was $15 and that vest was $7. So this would be way better to wear anyways, way more comfy. And then my husband, I found this because it was extra large. This bear, I'm going to show you the picture of him wearing it. He wouldn't show his face though. He does not like getting his picture taken. And it has a tail. So I think the monkey one has a long tail. Yeah, it's got a long tail. So he and I are going to just show up. Now we decided he happened to get the week off of October 17th. So we will have a house sitter, just so you know, there'll be somebody here. And so we're going to be in Boston actually. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to travel with those things, but I could travel with my purple shirt. So it might be interesting if we find because we will be downtown Boston. So it's going to be interesting to be in Boston during the No Kings. So that'll be interesting. So anywho, let me show you that picture real quick. And then I do want to talk about the Purple Revolution and then we'll get started. I might have to put the time count on it. So he's 6'4". So look at him. He wouldn't show his face though. But it's a little long, and he said it was kind of tugging at his balls. So, I think from here to here, it just wasn't. But I can't believe it actually fit him. I mean, I took the chance and bought it. I'm like, that one was $12. So I'm like, whatever. Again, we'll have, hopefully we won't have too many opportunities to wear these things, to be honest. But if we do, I'm stacking up, So yeah, if that inspires you to go out and look for something. Now, the Purple Revolution, watching the woman who started this, the Purple Revolution, I will post her. I put it in the newsletter that I sent out, Purple Revolution. Oh, speaking of newsletter, real quick. So yeah, so I know some of you are having a hard time getting subscribed to our newsletter, which is here, or the link is in the description. The thing is that the newsletter system that we have also is very careful about if you just put if you put a weird name, like not your first, like your legit first name, and it just sometimes it will kick people off because it's watching for spam email because, there are systems out there that just join emails, So, and then if you're using, I don't know, all I can say, and I don't know why so many people are having issues. We have like 5,000 people on there, so not everybody's having issues. That's the thing. And like I said, if you haven't looked at it for a while, maybe I shouldn't do 14 days, but just don't forget you signed up. Don't forget you signed up and put us in spam. Maybe I shouldn't do 14 days. Usually like 90 days is the norm. But there was like too many little people putting us into spam. So not that many, but enough that made me like, what, we can't afford that because then Google won't, if we get too many spam, then Google won't send our emails out. So we have to be really careful about that. So yeah, maybe I'll do like 30-day open rate, okay? But I did dump a bunch of people recently that hadn't opened for like weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm like, well, but I get it. And sometimes you're busy, right? So if you really want to be on the newsletter and you're just not getting them, send me an email and just say, I want to be on the newsletter. And then my sister will make sure I see them because I have to show my sister how to go in there and we can add you or look up your account. Okay. Because I really do want people who want to be a part of the email to be in there and not get so frustrated when they hear me talk about it and you're not getting them. Okay. So send me an email, Karen@determinedtolovemondays.com. The email is also listed in the description of our channel, so you can also find it there. Okay, so the Purple Revolution. So I was listening to the woman her and this guy, were like, we should start the Purple Revolution. And it sounded like she's getting beat up a little bit. Of course. Why can't we just go with it? Just go with it. Why do we have to complicate everything? Not her and not him. I'm just talking to everybody else. So everyone's criticizing, not everybody, but people are criticizing. That's what it sounded like. I'll post the video that she posted about this. I put in there, it's because she was like, I had to hide under my bed for a day because she just was like, because it actually went kind of viral more than they expected it to. I just put a comment, and if you could put some support for her in this video, my comment was, my community's on board with this. Not all of you, but there's plenty of you who are like, yes, Purple Revolution. And I said, my community's on board with this. Keep it simple. Just ask people at the protest to wear purple. We'll all find each other then, and we can organize ourselves. She doesn't have to organize the whole thing. It doesn't have to be so, you know what I mean? Because once we do that, then you're going to get like all this opposition or whatever. No, just wear purple. Just wear purple because it sends a huge message and we can see each other. We can be like, yeah, Purple Revolution. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion, because anytime something gets super complicated, you have to reel yourself back in and say, no, 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 it's too complicated. It doesn't mean we don't do it though. We just don't need it that complicated. So I put that comment in there for her. If you could show her your support. If you do like the idea of the purple revolution, I mean, there's like, well, they didn't know, and we're all fighting back and forth still. It's like, no, the whole point is that we finally, as a society, are realizing that they're the ones, the politicians, the corporations, the billionaires, they're the ones that are creating the division. We have to stop blaming each other. I know, because we've all been brainwashed one way or another. I have been totally brainwashed. I voted for Harris, but it doesn't mean I've been brainwashed by her, but I have been we all have been. If you go back and watch my Coffee with Karen a couple days ago, I'll post it at the end of this video, that shows this one guy from outside of the United States telling us the truth about what, at least it felt right to me. The truth felt right to me, because it is what I've been seeing my whole life. I just never put it into words like that. And it's smacking us in the face right now. So it is not about the people. We have to stop blaming each other. Just come on. We have to stop this, because these politicians are, and on all sides, I'm not saying all of them, but just come on. Let's just all move to the middle, decide what the people want. We can't decide on religion, so no. There's separation of church and state. There's no religion involved in this. None. We can't, no, we're never going to decide on religion. It doesn't matter. But what we do want is health care, safety. I mean, clean food, clean water, houses for people that they don't have to be huge houses, but, people who did not have the privileges, or somehow got, maybe something happened to them. I know several people who got in an accident and got addicted to drugs because they were in so much pain from those accidents. Well, that should have never happened to them, getting addicted to drugs. But the drug companies or their doctors at the time did not help them not do that. Is that their fault? And then I'm not saying any of them turned out to be homeless, but I bet some of them do. I mean, let's just cut the shit out. Sorry. Wow. Wow, I did not realize I was going to be on a rant today. It's just, the whole thing is just bullshit. It is. The whole thing is just bullshit. All of us want the same thing. Give me a break. Give me a break. We all just want to have some money in our pockets to do, we all want to make a decent living, treated with respect, make our own choices, have decisions. But again, none of this church, religion, there's no way we were ever, separation of church and state. That's why we don't need to agree on religion, but let everybody have their thing. If you want to be a traditional housewife, be a traditional housewife, but don't expect everybody else to do it. If you want to not be a traditional housewife, don't be a traditional housewife, but don't expect everybody else to do it. God, I'm so tired of it. It's so stupid. It's stupid. We are spending too much of our lives and our energy talking about the stupidest stuff, and we're not the ones causing it. They are, and they're racking it in. This is what the kids do, right? Or I don't know, it's been going on. I really don't like that. I never did like that. When I see kids or somebody do that, I'm just like, it makes my skin crawl for some reason. But anyways, come on. Come on. All right, I will have to put the timestamp on this. So we are going to start at military at 20 minutes. Military. Because I really do want to get to the military conversation. Okay, military at 20 minutes. Apparently, I should have had, this was like a coffee with Karen this morning. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, 9:30. We'll get started at 19:30. 19:30 with the military. Okay, so let's get started. All right. In late September 2025, Fox News host, I love how Mabel adds that, and new Defense Secretary of Defense, by the way. They can't change it to the Department of Defense. They can't change it to the Department of War unless Congress does. Well, they have not. It is not called the Department of War. So the new Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, gathered roughly 800 active duty generals and admirals at Marine Corps Base Quantico. Former President I don't know why Mabel keeps saying former, but I think that's freaking hilarious. Former President Donald Trump attended because she knows he's not former because he attended. So, and delivered a speech focused on loyalty, strength, and reclaiming America. Reclaiming America. Yeah, from you. I'm about to swear at him. I am feisty today. I'm just, this is where we have to be. I'm just feisty. Reports from military journalists and retired officers described the event as highly unusual, part rally, part directive. Some senior officers said they were uncomfortable with the tone, that's in quotes, noting that public political remarks are rarely delivered to active service members in uniform. So this is very rare. Retired General Barry McCaffrey called the gathering dangerous optics for the military's independence, while others defended it as a morale event. Oh yeah, that really pumped everybody up. You can tell they were so pumped up. No press was allowed inside, and recordings were tightly controlled. So we don't even know if we saw the whole thing. This secrecy, combined with Trump's re-entry into power, again, still calling him former, we're going with it. Because, that's cool. That's cool. He's the former president. Re-entry into power and Hegseth unapologetically partisan style. Was he partisan? Has fueled speculation about what really took place. Many observers believe the silence that followed the speeches were telling, a quiet show of unease rather than endorsement. In this session, the one we're going to do now, the community seeks clarity. That's what Mabel wrote for me about what happened behind the scenes, what it means for the Constitution, and how this moment fits into the larger spiritual shift of leadership, truth, and awakening across the planet. Because I do ask when I have Mabel run SG questions, so spirit guide questions, I do have her add some questions on spirituality. I can't say they're going to be great, but we'll see what she has to say, okay? But again, most of these questions came from the community, all right? Just a reminder, entertainment purposes only. Everything is allegedly, let's see, based on publicly available facts, the stuff I just talked about, and reliable sources. Claims, events, and statements are alleged unless confirmed by official records. The purpose of this is to explore political, energetic, and spiritual patterns shaping collective awakening. Okay? All right, well, let's get started. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, you guys, I haven't talked to them today. How's it going today? They never say no when I ask them how it's going. So thank you as always for your guidance and support for our community, for each of us individually, thanking all of our spirit teams individually for all your guidance and support right now, because gosh knows we need it. Gosh knows. I don't really usually use the word gosh, but since I'm talking to them, I probably should, God knows. Well, God knows we need it. God knows we need it, right? Okay. So lead team, are there any questions in front of me that is not in our highest and best to know? No? Okay. Well, as always, please refrain from answering if that's the case. If I actually ask something that you're like, no. And they do, they will stall. They will just not answer. And sometimes they'll say yes and no, like that, depending on the answer. So, okay. So question number 1, was this meeting planned primarily to test loyalty rather than deliver policy updates? Yes. Were they able to test loyalty through this? No. Okay, well, that's all we need to know. Was AI or facial emotion tracking, I heard this too, used to study the general's reactions during the speeches? Yes. Did the generals know that this was happening? Yes. Okay, good. Were Trump and Hegseth both aware that this would appear politically charged to the public? Of course they did. Yes. Was Quantico chosen intentionally for symbolic reasons tied to Marine Corps loyalty and discipline? Yes. Did the attendees receive advance notice of who would be speaking? No. That would be too much. That's a power play, right? Giving people too much information, that's a power play. Make them a little nervous, right? Was the real goal to identify which military leaders would personally align with Trump or Hegseth? And Hegseth probably. Yes. And again, were they able to identify this accurately? No. Do they think they have identified it accurately? No. Were they happy after this event? Were Trump and Hegseth happy after this event? No. Were they almost mortified about it after the event? Yes. Okay, good. Were promises of future positions, power, or rewards implied to those who appeared supportive? Yes. Was there spiritual or energetic manipulation taking place in the room? What? Yes. Like a lower energy? Yes. Okay. So it was more a low vibration, energetic manipulation taking place in the room? Yes. Was there any high vibration manipulation taking? No. Were any foreign observers or intelligence partners quietly monitoring the event? Yes. Did any of these have to do with Israel, like Mossad? Yes. Was our own FBI also doing it? Yes. Did higher spiritual forces intervene to prevent a deeper misuse of power during the meeting? Yes. Cool. Hey, they all have spirit teams too. It's not just us. Everybody has spirit teams. So maybe their unicorns were like messing up with Hegseth and doing stuff like that. Okay. Were many generals internally alarmed by what they heard that day? Yes. Let's just say, was it 100% who were internally alarmed? No. Was it 80%? At least 80% were internally alarmed? Yes. Was it higher than 80%? Yes. Was it 90%? Yes. Was it 98%? 95%? Yes. Okay. So was it maybe less, was it like 1% who were not internally alarmed? Yes. So really small number. Were the 1%, let's just say 1%, were they aware that their partners, their other generals would be alarmed by this? No. Okay, it kind of makes me wonder because they're kind of, yeah. I can see that. I can't quite explain it right now, but I can see, that's why I asked that. I can see that they would be unaware, it just makes me, yeah, because they're just unaware. They're unaware of other things too. Yes, Lee team saying yes. Was the long silence after Hegseth's remarks a deliberate act of quiet protest? Yes. Or was it just because that's code? I mean, that's how they respond when somebody's speaking. Yes. So that's also yes. Okay. Would it have been would it, let's just say that the remarks were like actually wanting unity in the country, not trying to be an authoritarian, all that kind of stuff. Would the military generals, if they got pulled like that, would they have clapped? No. Okay. So this was protocol basically. That, I mean, that was so. Did Hegseth actually believe he would get clapped? Have people clap? Yes. Okay. Well, that's how little he knows about that then. Did any attendees secretly record or document the meeting despite restrictions? Yes. Did smaller private discussions occur immediately afterwards to debrief or express concern? Yes. Did the event create deeper fractures inside the senior command structure? No. Well, that's to assume there were structured fractures. So were there currently deep fractures inside the senior command structure? No. Did any high-ranking officers later contact allies in the government or intelligence to raise alarms? Yes. Are any of them going to get in trouble for doing that? No. Great. And I think what we could do right now is just ask Archangel Michael as a group right now to send, and is it Uriel who does peace? Well, anyways, we'll do Archangel Michael to send all his protective bubbles around that 99% of the military generals to protect them, to do their jobs the way that they have been trained to do, to protect the American people, period. So whatever they need to do, but to protect them to do it. So helping them to protect them to only speak up to the people who they know for 1,000%, 100% that they can trust, that are not spies for the other side, that kind of stuff, because I know they have to be really careful about stuff like that. So let's just see collectively if you can say, yeah, Archangel Michael, do that. Okay. And then add yours right now. So that's just like a little collective prayer or ask that we have. Okay. Would a majority of generals refuse to carry out any orders they knew was unconstitutional? Yes. Is that the 99%? Yes. Very good. Would that 1% carry out orders that they knew was unconstitutional? Yes, they would. Are there already standing contingency plans to, they're already saying yes, to block or override unlawful directives? Yes. Have they already been doing it for the last 10 months? Yes, they have. The knitting cult lady, she will say, she was a captain in the army, I believe, and she would say 5 times a day she would have to tell her commanders no. because she was trained a specific way. They can't, her bosses don't necessarily have all of the specialties that everybody under them has, and everybody under them who have the specialties it's their job to make sure that their bosses know what the law is. And so she would literally like 5 times a day have to say, no, you can't do that, that's illegal, or no, you can't do that's unconstitutional. And so that's amazing. So I love how she's very clear. You can tell she's been, she's interesting. I don't have any friends like her. I appreciate the differences between her and I. Are there already standing contingency plans? Okay, we already did that one. Will most of the senior command continue to honor their oath to the Constitution over any individual leader? Yes. Do some generals privately interpret loyalty to Trump as loyalty to the nation itself? Yes. Is that Is that the 1% again? Yes. Do the 99% of generals privately interpret loyalty to Trump as loyalty to the nation itself? No. Did Trump's message subtly frame himself as the embodiment of the Constitution? Yes. Are active psychological operations underway inside the military to shift perception of loyalty? Yes. Are the 99% aware that that is happening? Yes. Okay, well, will the 1% who ultimately, the 1% that's trying to do this, will they go down at some point? Are they going to get held for that? Yes. Here's a question for you. So Steve Miller the other day, did you guys see this? Unbelievable. Steve Miller. I'm going to do a call out for Steve Miller. I haven't done that. I'm going to do that. So questions you guys might have about Steve Miller. He was on CNN and he used this term, I forget what it's called, plenary something, to say that the president had total control, that it's totally up to him. He used this term to mention that the president had total control. He says the term and he stops talking. And he's like, I mean, he didn't have a smirk on his face, but he just stopped talking as if like there was some kind of disruption. I'm going to ask right now, there was no disruption. If you watch him, he just went, oh my, like his brain froze because he said that, which means clearly that's what they're trying to do. It's weird though. Like it was weird. And then the CNN guy's like, Steven, are you there? He was there. He was totally there. The screen did not freeze. You could see his eyes moving. He could hear. I know for a fact, if you watch him, the way he said it, he said, well, the president has this plenary, whatever, and then he was about to say one more thing and he just stopped. It was the weirdest thing. So weird. So did Stephen Miller, did he freeze? Did the film freeze so he couldn't hear the CNN host? No. Did he freeze because he realized he just made a huge mistake? Yes. Okay, good. These guys are going down. They're pathetic. I'm sorry. I hate to be so, this is what I have learned from somebody in the community a long time ago. It's called righteous anger. I didn't understand righteous anger. So that's what I'm feeling, righteous anger. I'm like, just like, to you guys, we have to feel that because, that's what's going to make me show up in my purple or in my monkey suit, So let's see. Okay. Did a smaller group of generals hold a second unpublicized meeting afterwards to discuss next steps? Yes, really wide swing. But were these the 1% who held this meeting? No. Well, did the 1% also hold their private secret meeting? No. Okay. Are you guys saying yes and no, or just can you be clear on that? Did the 1% also hold a private secret meeting? No. Okay. Were boundaries discussed regarding how far they would or wouldn't go to support the political actions? Yes. Is there a coordinated effort forming within the military to quietly defend constitutional order if challenged? Yes. Are any of these generals aware of or linked to private corporate militias? Oh my gosh, good question. Now active inside the U.S. borders. Okay, that's scary. Yes. Okay, well, that's actually two questions. Are these generals aware of private corporation militias now active in the U.S.? Well, that would be ICE, right? Yes, so they're aware of it. Are they linked to private corporate militias? No. Okay, good. Will the generals play a future role in releasing suppressed files such as Epstein-related evidence? What? Wow. Yes. I wonder how that will come off. Is Trump considering a declaration of martial law if legal pressure intensifies? Yes, but you got to listen to the knitting lady. She will help you understand martial law. So she'll clear the air about the martial law stuff. And she's so funny because she's like, I swear you guys just want to be upset about stuff. I swear you just want to be in a hissy fit all the time. She's talking about us. So that's why she's really helpful. My husband, well, not that he wouldn't like her, but my husband, because he doesn't watch a lot of this stuff, but he really likes her because he probably likes her because she helps me just like, she's just a huge thinker, and as a feeler, it's very helpful. Okay. If martial law were declared, would that decision accelerate his political downfall? Yes. So let him call it. They're just bozos. I'm sorry, but it's becoming so obvious. They're just a bunch of bozos. That's all there is to it. They should be wearing bozo outfits when they go into their office. They should all have bozo outfits on. You guys remember Bozo? Oh, Bozo Buckets and was it Bozo and Friends? I don't know. Bozo Buckets, though. Do you remember Bozo Buckets? You can find Bozo on YouTube. We watched it a couple years ago because I was like, I've got to watch this thing that I used to love. Bozo. I forgot. Was it Bozo Circus or Bozo? I don't know. Does a significant portion of the military leadership currently favor the sitting administration over Trump? No. Okay, so these are the spiritual questions. I hope they're okay. There's only 5 of them, so I didn't really proof them before. I'm feeling okay about how this went, how Mabel put this together. I thought this was quite interesting. Are some generals currently experiencing personal spiritual awakenings that influence their choices? Yes. Is this event part of a larger spiritual confrontation? I don't know if I like that word, between truth and manipulation within global power structures? Yes. And the astrology tells us the same thing. Yes. That's why it's happening now, because the astrology's creating the opportunity for it. Was the silence in the room also symbolic, a collective higher self response saying enough? No. Again, this was their protocol. Is that why? Yes. Okay, well, it's nice to test out those questions a little bit with the rods, with the lead team. Does this meeting mark the energetic beginning of a military shift back towards integrity and light? Yes. I don't know if the military needed to, but yes. Will public awareness of this gathering eventually spark a broader awakening among citizens about control and sovereignty? Yes. Again, look at how righteous I'm getting about stuff. Just like, stop this crap. You know what I mean? Because the more and more we learn, the more we get poof, we're taking back our power, our personal power. And it's not about against somebody else. We're taking back our personal power. We're standing up for our personal power. The more this happens, the more we do that. So now we can see why this was so important, you guys. I know it sucks, but we came to Earth during this time for that reason, So I can see it more and more and more, especially as I change and I learn more and I grow. So, all right. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you liked this content, please give it a thumbs up and I will see you in the next video. Okay. Bye-bye.